Voters in Rhode Island are watching history repeat itself in this year's midterm race for governor. Last night, the state's incumbent Democratic Governor Gina Raimondo won her party's bid for re-election.
She first took office in 2014 after fending off Republican challenger Allan Fung. He won his right to a rematch Wednesday night. If Fung is elected in November, he would become the state's first Asian American governor.
For more on last night's results, Scott Mackay is a political analyst for Rhode Island Public Radio, and he joins us now from Providence, Rhode Island. Thanks for joining us, Scott. So last night, Governor Gina Raimondo won her party's bid for re-election. She was able to sort of fend off a challenger from the left, former Secretary of State Matt Brown. What does her platform look like heading into November's election?
Basically, what she's trying to do is run as a centrist. She's touting the fact that the state's economy is a lot better than it was. Rhode Island was the first state in New England to go into the recession and the last state to come out. And finally, the unemployment rate is down to about 4.1%, and things are looking up. She's also tried to push some progressive initiatives. Probably the biggest one was winning legislative approval for 2 free years at the state's main community college, the Community College of Rhode Island. And in her second term, if she wins, she's pledged to try to extend that to the state's other public colleges, Rhode Island College and the University of Rhode Island. She's also been on a real campaign to fix up long neglected infrastructure problems here in Rhode Island, particularly sagging bridges and filling potholes on the highways. And that has gotten her into some controversy with the truckers lobby. She's done this, financed it a bit by putting new tolls on big trucks, figuring that they do more damage to the highways than the passenger cars we most see.
So Governor Raimondo will once again face off against Republican Allan Fung. As you know, she narrowly beat the Cranston mayor back in 2014. What is different this time around?
That's going to be interesting to see. I suspect this time that you're going to see a very combative, spirited race. You're going to see Governor Raimondo try to tie Fung to the Trump administration. Even though in New England, most successful Republicans are a lot more like Charlie Baker, the very successful and popular governor of Massachusetts, than they are like Donald Trump. But I think the governor, Raimondo, already started last night going after Fung. The other things you're going to see, I think, reproductive rights, abortion rights has been a big battle here in the legislature. I think she's going to use that. She's also pushing a new program to try to have universal pre-kindergarten around the state. So what she's done is she's been very centrist on a lot of things, backed off some controversial stuff that she had earlier. For instance, she was coming out for immigrant driver's licenses for undocumented folks. She's pulled back on some of those issues. And the other thing that Fung is pushing that's different than last time, he's trying to give a nod a little bit to Trump, saying he's against sanctuary cities. He's upset that some of our larger cities, including Providence, the state's capital, has a police department and a city council and a mayor that really doesn't like close cooperation with ICE. And so that's going to also be an issue here.
So you mentioned that she's probably going to try and tie Fung to Trump, but this is actually going to be a three-way contest. You've got an independent, Joe Trillo, who's the former Republican state lawmaker that led President Trump's campaign in the state. So I presume he's sort of pretty Trumpy. What sort of impact do you think this will have, or the president, rather, will have on this race?
Well, the third-party candidate, Trump here, the Trumpian Joe Trillo is former state rep from Warwick. He's a bombastic guy. He engages in a lot of anti-immigrant rhetoric, which he did during his years at the State House. And the problem for Fung is that just about every vote that Trillo gets, you would think would go to Fung. Trillo running it as an independent, but he's a former Republican state lawmaker, conservative, and it seems like every vote he gets is going to help Raimondo. Now, if he only gets 5 or 6%, that shouldn't be a big problem. But let me tell you, the closer he gets to double digits, 10, 11%. It really gives Fung a steep hill to climb in a general election. Now, last time was very close between Fung and Raimondo. She only won by about 4 points with only about 41% of the vote. That was a multi-candidate field. Also, there was a third party candidate fellow in there, a guy named Bob Healy, who is no longer with us. He died, but he tried to capitalize on the outsider status, and I suspect you're going to see Trillo do the same thing.
Do you think it's going to be as close of a race?
The polling that we've seen so far shows that it's almost a dead heat between Fung and Raimondo. Of course, again, we have this X factor with the independent Trumpian Trillo, so we don't know, and we're going to have to wait till this settles down before anybody gets in the field with a poll that you can really trust. Again, you know, it's the morning after, and Fung won an impressive Republican victory, although the voter pool is very small. Rhode Island's a blue state, as is most of New England, and our Republican base is really pretty small. So this is going to be a fight for the independent voters, people who are not affiliated with either party. That's about 48% of the Rhode Island electorate. So that's where this is going to be fought out.
So election night's probably going to be a late one for the candidates, maybe for you too, Scott.
It always is.
Scott Mackay, thank you so much.
Great to be here.